The holiday weekend marks the unofficial start of summer. And of course, while most of us, we all hope to have a lot of fun, we want to make sure that you and your kiddos are as safe as possible. Here with some water safety tips is Ms. Gina Torjak, certified ISR instructor with Infant Swimming Resource for 16 years in Atlanta. Get this, guys. She's taught over 1,400 babies and toddlers to swim and float and has more than 25 survival stories right here in our community. Let's give it up for Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Gina, I am so happy you're here. Such an important topic as all the pools open up this weekend. Let's bust some myths about drowning today, because it's not just something that we need to worry about, you know, during swim time. And you have some really eye-opening statistics in terms of it being the leading cause of accidental death for kids 1 through 4.
Absolutely.
Scary.
Yes, and Memorial Day weekend is notoriously the deadliest weekend for drownings. So we, you know, not to be grim, but on average, 4,000 people lose their lives to drowning. That's 10 a day in the United States, and it is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4. So we really need to talk about the layers of protection and how to supervise your children prepare for the weekend. Because I'm excited it's May. I'm happy for it's summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, one thing you taught me, Gina, and also my pediatrician said, is that something we don't think about is drowning is often silent. You don't hear it. So, you know, you could think you're even paying attention, but it is silent.
It's not the videos that we see sometimes
No.
of people splashing and making a big fuss.
Drowning happens in 20 to 60 seconds, and when a child enters the pool, it doesn't make a sound. So I often tell my parents, you know, this is what drowning looks like. It doesn't look like a big splash and a struggle. It's a child slipping under the water and not making a noise. So we want to talk about how to keep them safe and go over the multiple layers of protection.
Okay.
The National Drowning Prevention Alliance suggests that we do 5 layers of protection.
Okay.
Those are barriers and alarms around and around our pool.
Right.
Make sure that the pool is fenced, gated, locks on the doors, locks on pet doors, and alarms in the pool.
Yeah.
The most important layer of protection from the National Drowning Prevention Alliance is going to be active supervision.
Yeah.
Designate a water watcher. I'm going to be like, Kara.
Yeah, okay, I'll put this on.
You watch the baby.
I'll watch.
For 45 minutes, constant eyes on. And then she knows where they're at. Dress your child in bright layers so that you can spot them.
Right.
And make sure if you need a break, I'm going to say, Kara, okay, I'm going to take over now. We're not going to be on our phone. We're going to be watching our child solely focused on them.
Right,
exactly. And I like what we mentioned too at the beginning of the show. The pool is not a babysitter. I know we all want to relax. It's been a long year, but I love that. And I think we were looking at the graphic instead of this. Can we show that?
Yeah.
Lanyard again, because it's so cool that it's like you are the designated pool mom right now.
And then I need a break. I'm going to use the restroom because drowning happens during non-swim times on breaks. The other layer of protection that we want to look at is water competency. Does your child have formal swim lessons? And do we teach them to enter the water, hold their breath, roll onto their back, float, rest, and breathe, and wait until help arrives. If they're older, they can flip over and learn to swim.
And something else Gina says is, do not teach your child to blow bubbles.
No.
Why
we want
is
to keep our air. It makes you buoyant and keeps you at the surface.
Okay.
So you want to hold your breath as you enter the water, teach them to roll over into their back and breathe on their back, float, rest, and breathe.
Okay, speaking of floating, let's talk about these because I had all of the devices in front of me, all of the little flotation devices. What do we need to know about these? I feel like some of them are almost too like a little safety. What am I trying to say? Like
these are a layer of protection.
Yes.
A life jacket is a layer of protection on a boat, but it's meant to be used for a moving vessel.
Got
it.
it.
A boat, a kayak. If your child is an infant, they would have an extra headrest.
Right.
What they're being marketed now incorrectly is floating and swimming aids. These are like
that's what I want to say, like a false sense of safety.
Yes, it's not a swimming aid, and it's been marketed as a swimming aid. These are to be used on the boat. This would be not to be used in the pool. What that does is it teaches your child the incorrect posture, and that's what we saw earlier. It teaches them to be vertical in the water, head back tilted, and it essentially teaches the drowning position. So if your child is in this, children learn by doing, right?
Sure.
They learn by interacting in their environment. So if they learn by doing, you want to ask yourself, what is my child doing in the water? And if that flotation is removed, they're learning the drowning position in this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what do we do with these?
Chuck it in half and throw it away.
Done. Seriously.
Well, you say it even increases the risk of drowning.
So flotation devices, when used as swimming aids in a pool, increases the risk of drowning. The real thing that you can do to reduce your risk of drowning by 88% is to give your child formal swim lessons. Let them learn what their body feels like in water. Let them learn their buoyancy.
Sure. And Kara, you did that.
Well, I was going to say, okay, so personal experience, and just to say, Gina taught 2 of my children to swim. My youngest, Liza, she is completely competent in the pool. Like, it is it is literally the best thing I've ever done. I've made a lot of parenting decisions, and this is just truly one of the best ones I've done. But let's talk about what we do in the pool to allow our children, Gina, to enjoy themselves safely.
So what you want to do is formal swim lessons, reducing the risk of 88%, but reducing the risk of drowning by 88%.
Let me interrupt you real quick. At what age? Because Liza looks like she was, what, a year there?
She was, yeah, she was
So for
about
the
a
lessons
year
I teach, we start at 6 months up and 6 months and sitting unassisted. But the American Academy of Pediatrics states that children can benefit from swim lessons at the age of 1. And if they can crawl, they should be learning to float.
Excellent.
If they can walk, they should be learning to swim and float.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to
no.
make sure I asked that. Okay, so now on to how do we keep them having fun? Right, that was your question, right, Kara?
Well, I was just going to say, too, that I think we started Liza actually, just to add to your point, at 8 months, and then she went back at like 18 months, and then she's had like 2 consecutive like refreshers since there. That picture you're looking at there is actually the final test they do with ISR, where she is like simulating falling in with all of her clothes
Look at her,
on.
look at her. Yes, Liza girl, you know
job,
what you're
baby.
doing. Good job.
And that's the statistics. Children drown during non-swim times while they're fully clothed. So we're reviewing the clothes. It's not on the first day. It's after the child is skilled. Liza learned how to roll. She learned how to hold her breath. She learned how to float. She was strong. She was competent. And we reviewed what it feels like to go into clothes at the end of our session.
Got it.
Yeah.
But what you want to do in the pool, I think the question really brings up is, okay, I can't use this. What do I do?
Right.
So you want to be within arm's reach at all times. Actively having have a water watcher assigned to watch them, and they're not to be off pedaling without being able to touch them.
Okay.
Formal swim lessons really reduces, it really helps you.
I mean,
learn.
88%, that's a staggering
it's a staggering
statistic.
number,
Yeah,
yes.
it really is. It really is.
Unbelievable.
If we skill the child before they reach water, then the child becomes their own layer of protection.
Right.
So what I am lucky enough to do every day, it's awesome. I get to see Liza, I get to teach babies. I mean, you think about a mom, it's May, all these firsts, the last day of school.
Yes.
So I get to see a baby, you get to see their first words, you get to see the first day they learn to walk. I get to see the first time they learn how to save their own life.
Yes.
So when they
Oh
roll-
my
yeah,
gosh.
I get goosebumps thinking about it now. It's the best job. I get to do it barefoot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Full circle.
I get to do it barefoot, and I get to see a baby learn how to save her
their life.
life.
Yes.
It's the one of the swimming lessons is one of the few things you can do with your child where they are learning a first and you're witnessing them
Yes.
learn it right in front. It's a miracle.
I wish we had a full hour. This was
Yeah.
such incredible information. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for taking the
Can I
time to
say one
share
more
your
thing?
message
Quickly.
quickly.
My husband said, I think the best thing was that she taught our kids how not to be in fear and to
Yes.
not panic in a situation. They're so calm around the water,
Right.
which is so
Which is
important.
so
I just
key.
wanted to
I
say
should
yes.
just add that we
gotta
can't drown proof our children. Always adult supervision.
Always adult supervision. Guys, go into your weekend feeling safe thanks to this. All right, we'll be right back. So much good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good.